Hey, what's good, people? All right, where are we? Where are we here? We should be nice and connected here. I gotta just double check, make sure we're good to go. Everything should be rocking and rolling. All right, we got the Twitter. Yes, we got the Twitter. We got the Facebook. We got the YouTube. All right, good. What's going on, good kind people? Lee Sanders here. You're checking out a all new The RCWR show, covering the latest in all things wrestling entertainment and beyond since 2011. Yes, my pretty babies, we are just a couple of minutes removed from a new AEW Dynamite. And I'll say it once again, welcome. Welcome to those of you that's tuning in live right now, checking out all new RCWR show for Wednesday night, December 1st, 2021. Here we are, man. This is it. It's the final countdown to the year of 2021. I know a lot of you guys have been patiently waiting for this year to pretty much be over and done with, so we can just get on to 2022 and beyond, because 2021 is, for a lot of people, has pretty much been a repeat of everything from 2020. So I'm feeling you. I'm definitely feeling you. Look, we saw a fantastic AEW Dynamite tonight go off the air. We're definitely going to be talking about that. We got a nice loaded up show for you guys, honestly, because besides that, we're also going to talk little tidbits about this week's NXT, which honestly, in a nutshell, was a good setup for their War Games event that's going to be on the WWE network this coming weekend. Let's not also forget this weekend, we've got NWA's Hard Times 2 pay-per-view event. You'll only be able to catch that on Fight TV. So we'll be going over the full card for that, offering predictions as well. We'll do some War Games predictions as well, preview that card. So we got a nice, fun deluxe episode for you guys. I hope your week has been off to a decent start. Hump Day is pretty much here, and that weekend is just around the corner. I tell you what. And I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. So funny because earlier today, I actually had got in the mail my C2E2 press pass. So I can kind of let the cat out of the bag now. But your man was actually supposed to go to C2E2 out in Chicago. And originally, the way that this was supposed to be going down, it was supposed to be another panel. There was supposed to be, the way I was trying to get it set up, I was trying to have it be me, Missionary Thomas from Wrestling Soup, because this basically was in his respected neck of the woods. I mean, like, just a short drive for him. And also my man Julian Cannon from the Wrestling Court. So we had it nice and set up. You know, we all pretty much had conversed amongst ourselves, and it was pretty much a deal where, okay, look, Lee, since you were able to pull off some magic for Awesome Con, you got the panel and all that, see if you can make that magic strike again for C2E2. So I put in the paperwork early on. I mean, it was so early, pretty much just a couple of days after Awesome Con was in the books, I went on ahead and submitted for my press passes to C2E2, and I submitted my panel idea to C2E2. And sadly, the panel did not get picked up. However, I did get approved for press passes. And like I had said to my wife, when I got the news that the panel wasn't being picked up, I said, yo, I ain't driving, because we did it for CM Punk when he was at the Pro Wrestling Tea store for his meet and greet some years back. What was that? The first StarCast weekend, first All Out. It was an All Out show. I said, yo, I'm not having us be in a position where we're going all the way out to Chicago for some 10, 11 something hours. And, you know, all we're basically doing is, you know, a media obligation. Like, nah, man, that freaking, forget about that. I want to do a lot more than just show up as a member of the press. I actually, you know, if it's not a panel, forget about it. So we had decided that, you know, with that's going on. And it kind of sucks because honestly, Honestly, there's one thing that I'm a little bit intrigued by, and that's the fact that there's a decent amount of AEW representation that's going to be at C2E2. I'm not going to get into it tonight. I'm actually going to get into it on next week's show as the event gets closer and everything. But it's pretty nice, the lineup that they got for all 3 days of C2E2. But yeah, I got school. I'm getting ready to celebrate my 6-month anniversary, wedding anniversary, that is. I'm also getting ready to, the new Matrix movie that's getting ready to come out. I'm so pumped for that. We got the new Spider-Man movie, which, contrary to how some people may feel, I've done a very good job dodging spoilers, looking at screenshots. I don't know anything except for 2 things that's supposed to be happening in that movie. But when Sony and them basically said, nah, we just want people to check this out blindly, I really, really had liked that idea. And so I made sure that I didn't read anything about that. And normally I don't go into a movie that blind. Normally when I get ready to go into a movie, I like to, I've seen some trailers, I've checked out a couple of interviews, and yeah, man, this seems like legit. This is going to be boss. But I didn't do that for this one. I would have to take a day or two to think about it, but there's maybe been a handful of other times I've done that for a movie. But as far as within recent memory, this is probably a first, I would say, within about maybe about 20 years. I'm curious if you guys have ever gone into a movie blind, without really, maybe other than knowing who the star of the movie is, right? And all that. I wonder how many of you guys have gone into a movie totally blind. So I'm curious. Let me know. Hey, I do have 2 polls up asking you guys, what did you think about tonight's AEW Dynamite? I got 1 poll up on YouTube. So head on over there, youtube.com/the RCWR show, and click on the communities tab. You can also cast your vote on Twitter at the RCWR show. Right now, we got 50% of the votes coming in favoring thumbs up, and we have another 50% favoring thumbs down. So we're at a tie right now. That's for our YouTube poll. Meanwhile, over on Twitter, I am seeing that you guys are 21% thumbs down, while 79% of you are giving Dynamite tonight a thumbs up. Honestly, I thought what they did tonight was a damn good show, honestly, especially that main event match. I'm definitely going to be giving my flowers to that main event match because, ooh, that's all I got to say. If that did not make you have newfound respect for Cody Rhodes, man, I'm not really sure what to tell you guys, quite honestly. No bullshit. I'm not sure what to tell you guys. Maybe it's just a case where when Cody comes on, you should just be watching something else. That's kind of where I'm at right now. You dig? Let me pull up the chat room here because I want to be able to see you guys when you're popping in the chat and you're saying a little something here. So let me just pull that up real quick here. Give me a second. I should have this up in about 3 seconds. Hopefully we won't hear any echo. Let's see, where are we at here? All right, we got it loading. It's still loading up. I don't know what it is. Everything else loads up perfectly fine. But for some reason, YouTube does not load up as quick as, I don't know if I got to clear out some cache or whatever, but it seems like it's only with YouTube. I don't get that. Look, we got some serious stuff that we need to get into before we dive into anything else. So you guys got to just indulge me for a couple of minutes here. I wish that I could come on here every single time and it can be peaches and creams and lollipops and rainbows and it's just a jolly old good time, but once in a while we have situations like what's transpired within the past 30 something hours where, okay, wait a minute, we got to pump the brakes and we got to have some serious talk. I definitely want to send my thoughts, my prayers, most importantly, my condolences to all parties affected by that horrific shooting that went down in Michigan. I'm sure many of you guys have heard about it. Unless you've been on vacation, you have been disengaged from the news. There was a 15-year-old boy. I'm not going to even mention his name. I'm not going to, because by mentioning his name, and I really wish that our news media would just pump the brakes, and regardless whether you know of the kid's name or not, you're putting the spotlight on him. You are essentially giving him 15 minutes of fame. You are having him live through the analytics of time as far as history goes. No, there should just be a total agreement amongst all members of media, all the media outlets. Okay, you know what? I don't care about the age. It's just when you do something that horrific, your name should not even, and granted, some news organizations do practice that. So to those that are practicing that, very good. But I've seen a lot of other news media coverages of this, read articles where his name is just mentioning his name like every fucking 5 minutes and shit. You know, it's like, ugh. But in case you didn't hear about it, a 15-year-old boy was charged with murder and terrorism in a shooting that had killed 4 fellow students and injured a ton others at the Oxford High School out in Michigan. And basically, from what all I was able to gather, this boy went into a bathroom and he pretty much, got his weapon set up and everything. It was I'm trying to think what kind of weapon it was. I think it was a semi-automatic handgun that he had. And once he came out of the bathroom, he just started firing at students, anybody that he saw while he was out in the hallway, right? So, I mean, this wasn't a case of, okay, I'm specifically coming after this person. I'm specifically coming after that, like it wasn't as though, okay, yep, this time they're going to be right. No, this was just whoever he saw first, they pretty much were getting the hot lead. And there was a piece of video footage that, powerful stuff. I don't know if the person that initially shared it on social media ended up pulling it, because when I tried to go back and look for my tweets and replies, I could no longer find it, because I had wanted to give this person respected credit for sharing it and everything. But there was this powerful video footage that was about 45 seconds long, where you saw these students that were in a classroom. They were smart enough to make sure they had the classroom locked up and everything, so that they did not let the gunmen in, because they were hearing all the commotion and everything that was going on. And they ended up getting a knock on their classroom door. And when the students were trying to figure out who it was, the person on the other side of the door was saying, hey, I'm paraphrasing, hey, it's the sheriff, sheriff's police, we're here. That much the killer actually did say. The killer was actually trying to get into this classroom. And the student on the other side, kudos to that student for trusting, or those students near that front door, just trusting their gut instincts, and just got a bad feeling about this, to the point of saying, yeah, don't really feel comfortable, opening the door right now under these circumstances. And boy, was that a good call, because the next thing that came out of supposed sheriff officer's mouth was something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing again, just open the door, I'll show you my badge, bro. And all the kids, just watch all those kids' ears light up, and they're looking at each other and going, nah, hell nah, that ain't no police officer. He said, bro, like, nah, it's time to go. And they pretty much had used, looks like they had used an emergency exit to get out of that little classroom that they were in and everything. And it's nice to see that, they made it out safely. But unfortunately, not everybody was as blessed. Not everybody was capable of doing so. Again, 4 students were killed. 16-year-old Tate Meyer, 14-year-old Hannah St. Julia, 17-year-old Madison Baldwin, and 17-year-old Justin Schilling. And if you're keeping track at home here, one of the first things that come into your mind as far as classroom shootings go and all that, you think about 2007's Virginia Tech shooting where 33 ended up dead. You think about the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting that resulted in 27 dead. You think about the 2018 Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting. That was out in Parkland, Florida, where you had about 17 people that died. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. And you just can't help but feel very, very frustrated, especially as an American, particularly when you see stuff like this that's going on, and why we can't have, like other countries, really good gun laws that's in place to stop craziness like this from happening. And you guys should be very conditioned to this by now. Sadly, we've gotten to that point where we've seen many politicians that, sickly I might add, use opportunities presented to them like this to try and push for their respected agenda, even the ones that do mean well. Still, and it's just, it's going to be happening. If it hasn't already happened already, you're going to be seeing it in the coming days. But you hear of stuff like this, and I'll add this other new little tidbit. When you have stuff like, and I encourage anybody to read up on this, I ain't going to spam out on it, but there's a very interesting article that's been surfacing that all the other news media outlets has been latching themselves on. Apparently, there was a woman out in Texas that had pulled a gun out on some people and threatened to kill them over a parking spot. So when you have stuff like that, and then you think about what had went down at the Oxford High School there in Michigan, it's like, and what's really sad, I saw the amount of people that were live that were with me, but then, here's the sad part. As soon as I started talking about this, they all are just disappearing. And here's what's really sad. When their favorite wrestlers are going to be talking about it, all of a sudden, they're going to be giving a damn about it because they want to look good in front of their little wrestling celebrities, and that's not how it should go. But if it kind of makes some of you guys feel a little better, it's actually a decent amount of pro wrestlers that's been talking about this, right down to the point. I want to say EC3, and I can't even remember the name of the other wrestler right now. His name escapes me, but they pretty much had coughed up their salaries for some wrestling show that they were going to be doing. They basically were forwarding their salaries for their appearances to that event to the families and victims affected by the shooting. So it's not something that, okay, we're just talking about. This is on the minds of a lot of people, even some of your favorite wrestlers that's out there. But yeah, thoughts and prayers. I'll get into it a little bit more for those of you that really like when I go all over the place. I'll get into it a lot more on Wrestling with the Topics with the misses, as it's a lot we can't cover here tonight, obviously, and this is mainly kind of one of those. But we like going all over the place. But once again, thoughts and prayers to the victims there. So tragic, very, very tragic. So, unfortunately, we got to do a hard 180 on that note. I always, never, as long as I've been on the air since 2011, whenever tragedies has struck and it comes time we got to do a hard 180 and get into the lighter stuff, it's always been the most difficult for me to do. Like, even when I watch the news and I see some of my favorite anchors and I just see how they're able to just, it's like, I wish I could have that, All these years later, I'm still not quite there yet, but we always manage our way to get out of that. Hey, AEW Dark was yesterday. Here's the results for AEW Dark this week. Shawn Spears and Wardlow defeated Bear Country. Kaylen King defeated Renee Michelle. Santana and Ortiz defeated Brandon Gore and Gus De La Vega. Sky Blue, meanwhile, defeated Rosa Negra. Allen Angels defeated Mike Reed. Ryo Mizunami defeated Danny Jordan, while The Butcher defeated Michael Martinez. Julia Hart was in action against Nikita Knight, picking up a victory there, did Julia Hart. And Infinito defeated Ray Jazz. Layla Hirsch defeated Sahara 7. Varsity Blondes, Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison defeated Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado. Tony Nese picked up a win over DeMarcio James. Jorah Joel and Matt Hardy defeated Baron Black and Prince Agbala. Ethan Page, meanwhile, defeated Fuego del Sol, and Adam Cole defeated Anthony Green. Those were your matches for AEW Dark this week. So pretty decent show. In regards to Dynamite tonight, great show. That was a really great show. Let's see where you guys are now with the polling results here. Let's go to Twitter, see what you guys are saying here. Right now, we've got 27% of you that's giving Dynamite a thumbs down, while 73% of you are giving it a thumbs up. Meanwhile, on YouTube, over at the community section, we've got 25% giving the show a thumbs down, while 75% of you are giving the show a thumbs up. So you've heard that now. If you have Twitter, go with the poll you feel best represents where you're at as far as you with the majority. Just, you don't have to pick both polls and spam out. Pick the one you feel that best represents you. Yeah, they did phenomenal. And to the point that was made by Thunder Rosa, we know that's not the real Thunder Rosa, but it's a person with a Thunder Rosa handle and avatar and all that. They basically had said Cody was on fire. Yes. Right. That's a NBA Jam joint, right? He's on fire. Fire. He's on fire. Favorite stuff from that damn game. Favorite stuff from that game. If ever an arcade machine I would play nonstop, definitely some NBA Jam, hands down. Yeah, that main event match between Cody and Andrade. Good shit, man. That was. Did you see Cody's back though? Cody's back. Sadly, I didn't have time to get screenshots and all that ready to go, but I encourage you guys that maybe you're out about, you didn't check out Dynamite yet, but you're going to have it on your DVR in a little bit, or maybe it's already on your DVR. Go and watch that match. I'm hoping that AEW will be so kind as to actually put that match up in its entirety on their YouTube channel. When you look at Cody's back particularly, his back looks like ground freaking chuck. No bullshit. No bullshit. His back looks like raw ground chuck, because that man, the spot that he did to pretty much close out the match with El Idolo, he fucked his back up. His back was literally on fire. So to the point, yeah, Cody was on fire. Yes, no shit. Cody was on fire. Yes, he definitely was on fire. I can only imagine how much worse the burn marks that's on his back. I can only imagine how much worse it's going to get, particularly when he wakes up the next day. Seriously, when he wakes up the next day, he is really going to be feeling it. And, that's, let me tell you something, because I used to play around with fluids and fire when I was in my teens. Not in the way that you guys are thinking. Let me really explain. And it's not long-winded. But basically, when I was in high school, we had many departments. We had a visual arts department. We had a theater department. We had a news and media department. We had an instrumental department. We had like multiple departments. So some of us that were in the visual arts department, we were friends with those that were in the arts and theater department. And normally one of the cool things that was really badass was the fact that, you know, some of the friends that we had in the arts and theater department, they would come across all kinds of props, things of that nature. And you had some that were very ambitious, that were very passionate about getting into Hollywood and working on makeup, production, all kinds of cool shit, right? So this one friend that we had, he was a little bit older than us. He was actually, because when we first came across him, we were freshmen, and I want to say he was a junior going into his senior year. And he was expert when it came to like, okay, you want to set this on fire? Okay, great. He knew how to control it, all that shit. And so there would be these fluids that, you know, and I remember I used to help him sometimes on some of his projects and everything, and he was pretty fucking cool. So, true story, what I used to do, I used to take some of his fluids and I would actually pour it on my arm. And I would go running down the hallway with my arm on fire, and I would be screaming to the top of my lungs, and people would just be screaming, running in the other direction, or other people would be going, oh my God, Lee's on fire, and all that. And, you know, I would just be, you know, running around, you know, and then somehow I would just end up saying, got a light? And I just start busting up laughing, and they would just be standing there looking very perplexed, like, dude, your fucking arm is on fire. What the, right? And they didn't realize until after the fact that they got punked, right? They got had. And I used to love that type of shit. Now, the trick to doing stuff like that is you got to be in and out. That's the thing. You got to be in and out, because even though you got that fluid on and everything, eventually that fluid, I don't care how much you drench that body part and all that other shit, eventually that shit's going to wear off and time's going to be ticking. So you better hurry up and do what you got to do. And, okay, get rid of that shit. Otherwise, you're going to be hurting. And what we saw there with Cody's back, to the point, even though it wasn't but for so long, it was still, you know, it wasn't really properly set. You know, it probably should have been a case where a lot more should have been added on there. Right down to the point, I honestly, to see Cody's back the way that it looked, I'm honestly under the impression they did not even set it up so that his back would be covered. That's why you saw his back looking the way that it did, because his back was the result of not having it set up beforehand or within a few seconds of that epic spot. Why you saw his back looking like raw ground chuck. But again, I would imagine it's going to be much worse tomorrow. But you know what? I love that main event match for what it was worth. I love how, I was curious what type of reactions Cody was going to be receiving here tonight. I was very curious if he was going to get booed out of the arena or if it was going to be mixed reactions. And when it was all said and done, Cody, no bullshit. Cody actually got mixed reactions, but it was more on the side of cheers for him. And then when El Idolo just was like, fuck this, I'm just gonna bring the fight to him. I'm not gonna wait for him to make his grand epic entrance down the ramp into the ring, flashy little coat. No. I'm just gonna bring the fight right to him, and they're brawling all around the arena there. I love how they were throwing trash at each other. Cody coming at El Idolo with a bigger handful of debris. bottles and snacks and all kinds of, I don't know if he threw a trash can at him or what, but I know the fans ate that spot up particular. So that was a really damn good brawl that you had going down. Then to have Arn Anderson getting physical as well with El Idolo's right hand man. I mean, all of that, just the way it was set up from opening and then going into the end, that was great shit. That was great shit. And I tell you what, honestly, no bull. I find myself having newfound respect for Cody. I really, really do, because he could have easily gone into this, just done a couple of greatest hit spots, phone it in, and that pretty much would have been the end of it. He could have easily done that, but he really wanted to go out there. I think anybody that happened to watch this show or will be watching this Dynamite show, in a little bit, next day or so, will agree that he went into this match and he put it all on the line. He went all balls out, all in the good name of entertaining the fans. And when you do shit like that, when you go above and beyond like that, that is how you not only win so many people over, but that is also how you have those that maybe were on the fence about you, maybe were saying some bad things about you. That's how you were able to pretty much win those guys over. And you just had a loads amount of good violence that was in this match. And it was a great chaotic fight. That's really what this wasn't. No wrestling match. This was a fight. This was a brawl. This was a slobber knocker. And I loved it. I really, really loved it. I wouldn't be surprised if many felt that this was Cody essentially trying to have that one career defining breakthrough match where, okay, whatever was going on with me in the previous years, and I somehow have lost the fans for pretty much all of 2020. All right, now, I've gotten them back here. This was kind of like his breakthrough moment right here. What I'm most curious about, now look, tonight was good, and I feel in my bones he's definitely going to have well-received reviews here for this match, for these spots particular. The real question for me is going to be, all right, going into next week, how does Tony Khan, Cody Rhodes, how do they build upon what they did tonight and keep that momentum going for Cody? Will it be a cooling period for the wrestling fans? The next go round, Cody pops up in whatever city. Are they going to give him the, okay, all right, we see what's going on with you, homie. We're going to go on ahead and let's see what you got. Show us what you got, right? Is there going to be a honeymoon period? Is there going to be a grace period there where the fans are just pretty much going to back off a little bit? Because, you have to admit, if you've been watching Dynamite, it's been pretty heated. It's been pretty heated within recent months in regards to Cody. But that was one hell of a big finish. I love that finish. Cody pretty much getting the assist there from his wife, Brandy. Right? I mean, talk about very uncharacteristic there of Brandy. Brandy just popping up randomly there. And she is setting the table on fire. Right? She's adding liquid fluid to it, putting the match to it, getting it all nice and ready for Cody. Excuse me. While Cody, pretty much does his reverse suplex to put El Idolo through the table and somewhat himself as well, right? Yeah, but the table did break, yeah? Good match. Went about 20-something minutes. Nice little spot. Now, if I had one bone to pick in regards to this match, what I don't understand is, because I got to be that nitpicker. I got to be that nitpicker here for a second. What I don't understand is why, of all the matches, why would Brandy make her presence felt in this particular spot, when really where it truly counted the most, Brandy should have been inserted into the Malachi Black Cody feud. I mean, when you really just take a step back and you really, really think about it, that really makes all the sense. But then even at that, it's a little bit ass backwards with Brandy just randomly being freaking there. Because let's really think about this. Remember, a couple of months back, I had put the idea out there of, hey, wouldn't it be badass? Remember when Cody was on hiatus for a bit? He took his boots off after he lost to Malachi and was getting ready to retire in the ring, and Malachi just pretty much beat his ass silly, and we didn't see Cody for several weeks. Remember, it was around that period I came up with a really good idea where, okay, Cody's show on TNT is getting ready to come back, where he's one of the judges. They're getting ready to do Cody and Brandy's new show, whatever the heck the name of that show is. I always forget it. Don't tell me, because I'm not going to remember it going forward. That's just, yeah. I only watched a few minutes of probably 2, maybe 3 episodes, and it was, right? Yeah, it was all right. But my point, so I said, okay, wouldn't it be badass if they had Brandy come on an episode of AEW Dynamite to help promote her show with her husband? And then you could have the lights go black. Next thing you know, Malachi Black is right there in the ring. And this would have came after Arn Anderson suffered at the hands of Malachi. Brock Anderson suffered. I said Brock Anderson, right? I just said Brock Anderson. Ole Anderson is who I was thinking. So I apologize if I said Brock Anderson twice just now. I meant to say Brock and Ole Anderson. Everybody from Team Cody, basically the Nightmare, everybody would get destroyed by Malachi Black, and the ultimate payoff would be the return of Cody. And you would get to that point by having Brandy be in the ring. She's putting over her show. Lights go out, come back on. Malachi Black is right there. He's getting all up in Brandy's face. This prompts a Cody in street clothes to come on out, beat that ass, and then boom, you pretty much remember that. So I felt that if you would have planted that seed in there, then fast forward to what happened tonight, it would have justified Brandy being there and doing what she was doing, all in the name of helping out her husband. As cool as it was to see Brandy return and all that other stuff, thinking about what she's been saying in recent interviews, yada, 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 yakety smackety, you could, if you wanted to be technical, you could say her return in that spot was just kind of, right? Nah, but for what it was worth, good match, good finish. I'm curious to see where this is going to go going forward. So that was a great main event match. Now, some of the other stuff that had went down on Dynamite tonight. Oh, Lord have mercy. Some of the other stuff that had went down on Dynamite tonight was as follows here. First off, we have the... give me a second. Shout out to Justin Roberts. I'm not really sure what was going on with Justin Roberts. I actually went on his social media pages and I didn't see anything, but apparently the announcers made the comment that Justin Roberts is attending some personal matters and thus he was doing his duties tonight. So not really sure what's going on. Mom is the word right now, and also Jim Ross. Jim Ross is continuing to get his radiation treatment for cancer. Nothing major, he's just got to, they got it early. That's the important thing. They got it early and they're going to be able to, knock it out of the ballpark. He has, I think today was his second day of treatment. So now he's got, I believe, 21 or 20 more treatments to go, but he's not going to be back, as we've been mentioning the past 2 weeks now, guys? I think past 2 weeks now we've been mentioning on the show. He's going to be out until at least late December. He's hoping maybe he'll be back right around like a day or two, 29th, maybe a little sooner than that. That's the earliest we could possibly be seeing him again. We'll have to wait and see on that. But in his place, at least for one segment, Hangman Adam Page, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, as he watched, mostly silently, as Bryan Danielson destroyed the hell out of Allen 5 Angels. You know what? I liked how this match, and then I also find it very convenient that the very next match that we got was CM Punk. I don't know if you guys that watched Dynamite tonight really kind of, interesting how these guys are somewhat mirroring each other and they've yet to cross paths here. We haven't even seen a backstage segment with these two yet. It's like Tony Khan and crew are doing a really good job trying to keep these guys separate for as long as humanly possible. But sooner or later, Danielson and Punk are going to cross paths. But Danielson defeating Allen 5 Angels in about 6 minutes. I did take note of the time for these matches tonight. I thought 6 minutes was just right. I thought that was just perfect. I thought the story that was told, and Danielson being the technician, submission expert, really shining here in this match. I thought it was on full display. I love the fact that this pretty much was in and out in regards to this match. I love the layout for that. Post-match, Danielson grabbing a microphone and talking about how he tore the MCL of Allen 5 Angels. He recounts how the guy from last week, I can't remember the guy, was it Cole? I think it was Cole Cabana. Yeah, he pretty much knocked one of Cabana's teeth out. And that next week, apparently, they're going to be, AEW that is, they're going to be out in Long Island, New York, where he knows one of the members of the Dark Order is from that area. So he's actually looking to whoop somebody else's ass. Heyman's on commentating. He's talking about how tired he is of this crap, as we got breaking news that in 2 weeks' time, on a special AEW Dynamite edition, winter is coming. It will be Bryan Danielson taking on Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, meanwhile, Hangman Page not feeling the trash talking coming from Danielson. He actually walked himself down to the ramp. Danielson met him halfway and told him, yeah, go ahead, take a swing. Just as I know what Tony Khan said, we even hit one another, we're going to be suspended. But if you want to go ahead and do this, go ahead, let's do this. And then we saw John Silver come on. Actually, you know what? That was actually, let me back up a second. That would have been badass the way, that would have pretty much had happened. But no. Danielson was actually still in the ring when he was talking this trash. And he told Hangman Adam Page, we can't touch each other. But then John Silver came out and said, yeah, that's true. Tony Khan can't touch you, but, or rather, Tony Khan said you guys can't touch each other. I know, Danielson, you can't touch him, but, Hangman, guess what? I can touch Danielson. So he actually runs down the ring, was getting ready to brawl with Danielson. Danielson rolls out of the ring, talks about how Silver is beneath him, just like Hangman Adam Page. Then Danielson gets into the face of the Hangman, trying to tease him to brawl, but Hangman wasn't budging. So it pretty much ended like that on that tense exchange between those guys, challenger and champion. Really great. About 22nd of a video package that we got from Miro. I actually took the notes down on what Miro had said right here because this was pretty freaking badass. Miro had spoke about how his God has truly revealed to him what an asshole he really is. God, of course, he's calling God the asshole. He promised us that from this day going forward, he is going to storm the gates of heaven and the floor will turn red, and that God pushed him out while he was looking for love. Now he will bring fear. He has two weaknesses. One, he will repair. The other, he will fully embrace. This is the word of the Redeemer. I am loving this Miro shit. Seriously, I am just, for me, as far as, you know, my new go-to favorite highlights of the night each week when it comes to Dynamite, Miro, for sure. I look forward to seeing any and everything involving Miro. Another person that I was, you know what? Another person that's been kind of that freaking Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston has really been fucking growing on me. Also, I got to give it up to Dante Martin, Jungle Boy, Lee Moriarty. Trying to think if there's anybody else that's really been kind of jumping out to me. Britt's continuing to crush it. No problem with Britt. Britt's continuing to crush it. Yeah, my list is really, really short these days as far as like people that's... Oh, MJF. I can't believe I almost forgot about my boy, MJF. MJF is continuing to crush it as well. But yeah, good shit right there. It was a really good promo. I love that. Speaking of Lee Moriarty, he faced CM Punk. So once again, this is the CM Punk every single match. It's got to be this struggle for a guy that's been out for 7 years, but can he do what's necessary? Can he dig down deep? Can he somehow prevail and get the victory and all of that? This was a really good back and forth between Lee and CM Punk. I will definitely give it up to them. It was pretty good. I mean, you know, I'll say this. I wasn't really sure where this was going to go. There was a part of me that was maybe thinking here, maybe MJF, because MJF appeared at commentary. And I had got the vibe here that maybe MJF was going to interfere in this and somehow cost Punk the victory. I actually was under that impression. But the fact that Khan and crew decided to really let this match breathe, that there wasn't going to be any fuckery involved, you know, I thought that was a good move in retrospect. I thought it was a good move. I would have been okay with the interference, but I thought it was a good move that they did right here. I would have been okay with the move if it would have meant that come next week when it comes to the Diamond tournament, that somehow CM Punk was going to put the screws to MJF. That's how I was balancing it out in my mind. I'm not sure if you guys were kind of balancing it out that way as well, but that's how I was looking at it. But Moriarty, I gotta say, he got a lot out of this. He was able to hang with one of the biggest stars in AEW thus far. And I've liked this kid, really. I've sincerely liked this kid. Anytime I'm able to see him, Dante Martin, on my TV, I got the biggest smile on my fucking face, because these are your next breakout to AEW stars. These are your guys that could definitely help take the company, to that next level. I personally feel. So good shit right here. Now post match is where things had got interesting, as MJF had cut CM Punk's music, and man, he just really chewed into CM Punk's ass here, man. This was hilarious. MJF, that is, he says that although CM Punk may be disappointed in him, MJF is actually proud of Punk, that it takes balls to say that you're the best in the world. Meanwhile, you're struggling against guys like QT Marshall and Lee Moriarty. And that the only thing that CM Punk is best in the world at is trying to get in Britt Baker's pants. So I love how he brings it back full circle there to what went down with last week's epic promo and everything. And I love how MJF followed up on that. He's looking at CM Punk's face. I love, by the way, when he was on commentating, there was one zinger line he had that just had me bust out in tears. I actually spit up my drink. And that's when he said that CM, it basically stands for cook meth. He was basically saying cook meth Punk. Look, damn. I mean, he was just going at it with our boy tonight. He also capitalized on the unamused look that CM Punk had on his face, hearing the stuff about Britt Baker. MJF capitalized on that. He said, "You look unamused." Just imagine that's the same look that Britt Baker has on her face after you try to slip it to her, right? So, I mean, Punk is just looking extremely aggravated here. Punk's comeback was actually pretty weak. I'll admit that. He basically says, you got a lot of nerve coming out here wearing Larry David's pajamas. Pretty much tells him to bring his needle dick ass in the ring so he can beat his ass back to Long Island. MJF still pulling that. Nah, we ain't fighting here tonight. But he does mention the fact that next week is going to be the Diamond Tournament, the little Battle Royal Tournament, and that he is going to be three-peating. He will prove that he is better than Piper in Portland, better than Bret Hart in Canada, better than Punk in Chicago. And here's where some real spicy and salty words, really, if this doesn't make you want to whoop somebody's ass, I don't know what will. Everybody knows about CM Punk's dog, Larry. Well, MJF really went to town here. He says, hey, by the way, that little flea biscuit dog of yours, Larry the dog, you might want to be careful continuing to bring him around into the arena and everything, bringing him up here, because I promise you, if you're not careful, Larry is going to be the one to get put to sleep. And that just had the entire fucking crowd erupt. Punk threw the mic down. He was ready to fight. Next thing you know, Wardlow is between MJ and Punk. Punk can't believe that Wardlow is derailing him. He pretty much calls Wardlow a bitch as well as MJF. So it's pretty obvious here that leading up to when we're ultimately going to be seeing CM Punk and MJF collide, it's pretty obvious right here that Punk, Wardlow, they will be having a match. They will be having a match. And that should be a pretty entertaining one. Now, I gotta say, mad props to AEW here, because shortly after this, we actually saw Wardlow in a match. And the person that he faced, let me actually see if I got the name of that person. Looks like it was a guy named AC Adams. I love the fact that this was a squash match. I love that this went 1 minute, 18 seconds by my count. Pretty much, really, you guys aren't missing anything. 4 power bombs. It was either 3 or 4 power bombs on this poor dude. And the match was over. 1 minute, 18 seconds. Wardlow was just doing these power bombs because he could. And he did. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Insult to injury. The chairman, John Spears, he pretty much took, I'm trying to think, did he take a steel chair? He took some foreign object and he was just going to the body of AC Adams. Insult to injury. I like that spot right there. I liked all of that because, yeah, have Wardlow go in there. Have him have a freaking squash match. Make him look like a freaking devastating beast. I thought it was very intentional what they did with Wardlow tonight. Because if you're that fan, you're remembering what you just saw with Punk, MJF saying, yo, man, these fights that you've been having with some smucks these past couple of weeks, you've been struggling. Okay, so, yeah, it's actually a pretty good point. So how is Punk going to be able to hang with a guy like Wardlow? Because you know those two are ultimately going to collide. So I like actually how they had set all of that up. Very, very smart booking on Tony Khan and the rest of the team there. Mad kudos to them for that. Let's see. Oh, interesting development here. Now, I got a bone to pick with AEW here because I thought this was rather weird, the choice of words. And as we kind of said on the Monday night show, it's a way with words sometimes that shit can get misinterpreted. So remember, last Friday on AEW Rampage, we had saw the Black Friday deal where Rio faced Britt Baker, non-title matchup. And the rules were simple. Let me take a swig real quick. The rules were simple. If Rio won her match against Britt, then she automatically would become a number one contender, and she would get the opportunity to face Britt Baker for the AEW Championship. Doesn't get any plain, simpler, sweet than that. And this was a result of what went down with that Casino Royale where Rio had went under the ropes. She didn't go over the ropes and thus wasn't eliminated. So you're like, okay, all right, cool. So Rio won that match last Friday on Rampage. So why am I still bringing that up? Again, a way with words. We go to this segment with Tony Schiavone, with Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel tonight. A little backstage segment. And basically, Britt Baker says that Jamie Hayter is going to have a match with Rio next week on Dynamite. And that if Rio can defeat Jamie Hayter, then Rio will definitely have her match against Britt for the championship. And Britt says something along the lines of, whatever is left of you after that match, you know, you're able to get out of that, you know, you get your little victory or whatever, you know, you could then face me for the championship. It's like, no. I didn't like the way that was executed. I don't know about you guys, but I did not like the way that was executed. And kudos to the commentating team after that segment was over. They tried to actually clean that up because it sounded very confusing. It sounded like, wait a minute, but Rio was already awarded the opportunity for winning on Rampage. So why is, and just go back for those of you that haven't watched Dynamite yet, go back and peep that out. I just, again, shout out to the commentators because they did a good job trying to clean that up. And you're like, okay, so basically this is a tune-up match that Rio is having in anticipation of facing Britt Baker for the championship. Okay, but as it would appear, we don't know right now when that match is going to be happening. I would imagine Britt Baker and Rio will be going at it for the AEW Women's Championship at Winter is Coming. I mean, we're going to have the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. You might as well have the Women's Championship on the line as well, right? I mean, it makes a lot of sense. So, by the way, we were talking about MJF and all that. Remember the tournament for the Diamond? That's going to be going down next week on Dynamite. And for those of you that may be kind of, wow, it seems so soon that we're doing this type of stuff. Why are we doing this already? No, it's actually right on cue. It's actually right on cue. The last one, which was MJF taking on Orange Cassidy, that was on a Winter is Coming episode of Dynamite from December 2nd of 2020. Yeah, your man did research. How about that? And then the first one was on November 20th, 2019 episode of Dynamite where MJF defeated Hangman Adam Page. So no, this is actually, believe it or not, this is actually right on cue. It's right on time, basically. So yeah, I'm okay with that. It's nice that the continuity. It's nice that they're keeping up with that and everything. And I just love how this Diamond tournament is going to be at the centerpiece here, at least for MJF, trying to prove yet again why he is better than everybody. But then we also got Team Taz, as Team Taz had decided he wanted to do a little bit of Scott Steiner math. He basically was talking about how there's like, I don't know how many guys in Team Taz that's going into this Diamond tournament, and that basically their percentages is so high. I forgot the number that Taz had put out there. I want to say he put out there like 125% chance because of the amount of guys that's entering the tournament. And he pretty much was saying it's a guarantee that one of his guys is going to get it. And he's pretty excited for that. This had prompted our boy Lio Rush to come out. And Lio Rush basically, it was kind of an awkward promo. And I appreciate the fact that Taz really kind of getting that feel, did a nice, good job in his part. Not, first of all, not embarrassing Lio Rush, but at the same time, really capitalizing on that friction / chemistry that they have. When you could tell that Taz was starting to feel as though, okay, you know, we don't get to the juggler here, we're going to start losing our people. So I like how Taz kind of took control, and it was just enough that Leo, and he was playing off at Taz. So I thought they bounced off of each other pretty good here. But Lio Rush started talking about, okay, so basically you're saying with your percentage odds and all that, you know, like, I don't have a shot. I have no chance. And Taz is pretty much like, dude, why are you even out here? What's there to talk about? He's like, you know, you look at the odds, it's like, right? So basically Lio Rush, all right, so you're saying that I have no percentage. I've got like no chance whatsoever, like not even a 1% chance. Like, have you not realized I have been fighting the odds all my life here? Like, seriously? All right, so I kind of like what's going on here. We got a little Lio Rush that's trying to prove, yo, don't sleep on me, because you do that, that's going to be a big mistake. So kind of like that interesting development that's going on there, while at the same time, salt on the wound there that his boy Dante Martin is now with Team Taz. You know what that scene reminded me of, as Lio Rush was looking on at Dante Martin, and, you know, Lio Rush is just kind of looking at him like, damn, son, how you going to do that to me? Right? We supposed to be boys. How you have no idea. You have no idea the world that you're in store for. You made a bad mistake. You know what that whole sequence looked like to me? This isn't long-winded, but when I put this out there, especially if you're older than, you know, 25 and you remember this movie, then you're definitely going to, well, wait a minute. If you're at 25, I don't know. I'm trying to think, because when this movie came out in the early 90s. So I don't know. Yeah, it came out in 92. So no. I would say if you were born in 2005 and up, then hopefully, if you're a fan of nostalgia movies, you went back and saw this. Otherwise, if you were born in the 70s, 80s, you definitely remember this movie. But Lio Rush, Dante Martin, that reminds me so much of the movie South Central. And South Central it's a damn good movie, first of all. I definitely, if you've never checked it out, I highly would recommend that you check it out. It tells the story about this gangbanger. This gangbanger is portrayed by Glenn Plummer. And Glenn Plummer, and he was like this respected gangbanger. Like the whole neighborhood, like everybody knew this dude. He went to jail. You know, he did some hard time. And when he went to jail, however, he went at a time when, you know, he had his girl, I think, just gave birth to his son. And so he missed all the critical years of his son's life. So by the time he gets out of prison, the son, I think, is now maybe 10, 11, 12, somewhere around that ballpark. And Glenn Plummer's character, he's out of prison. He pretty much got out on good behavior, cleaned up his act and everything. And, he finds that it's pretty hard trying to adapt with this new person that he is, because the streets are calling. They're trying to bring him back in and everything. All he wants to do is find his son. And then he finds out that his son has pretty much joined a gang. And he's trying to teach his son the error of the ways and all that shit, like what a mistake it is to go in that direction. So when I look at Leo Rush and the Dante Martin, right, I promise if you see that movie, and you never seen it before, if you see that movie, you're definitely going to get the connection. I'm sorry for those of you that maybe are dropping out but this is how we do it on the show. It's like, it would be easy for me to just go, because really, if you really stop and think about it, it'd be really easy for me to go, this person defeat that person. This person defeat that person. This person defeat that person. And that's the end of the show. Subscribe. It'd be very easy for me to fucking do that. I try to give you guys some entertainment, good little side chatter and all that here and there. Try to make it worthwhile for you guys to tune in every single week. By the way, if you guys been enjoying yourselves so far, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button. When you hit that like button, you pretty much let YouTube know you like content like this. Helps out as far as more people being able to discover our content with ease. So do that, and mad thanks. And also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet, so you always know about new content that's coming your way. Definitely when you hit that notification bell, select all. That way you know any and everything that's going on with the channel so you don't miss out. Let's see. Where else are we? There's really not that much more to talk about in regards to Dynamite. Where are we next here? Colton Gunn, Billy Gunn. They lost to Darby Allin and Sting. So their little undefeated streak as a tag team, that's now over. We know most of those wins was on AEW Dark and Dark Elevation anyway, right? I mean, let's be for real. Nice little tag match for what it was worth. I actually got a kick out of the face paint that Sting was pushing tonight. I mean, it kind of had a Dead President's vibe to it, but also at the same time paying homage to his tag partner there and Darby Allin. I was really feeling that face paint there. By the way, we saw different people at the commentating position tonight. I don't know if you've kind of picked that up, but we basically sitting in for Jim Ross. It was like a great rotation of guests. We had Hangman, Adam Page. Then we go to MJF. Then we go to Adam Cole. But then Orange Cassidy, 'cause Adam Cole was getting ready to do his thing, but then Orange Cassidy came out. Adam Cole gets in Orange Cassidy's face trying to find out what's the deal. Cassidy decides he wants to put his hands into his pocket and everything. All this was playing out at the stage ramp. And while Adam Cole is pretty much kind of going back and forth with Cassidy, Young Bucks come from behind Cassidy. They're getting ready to attack him, but Cassidy turns around just in time, sees them. He starts doing his little fake me out tap little kicks. Adam Cole comes from behind, does a low blow to Orange Cassidy. Young Bucks come in playfully with their little tap super kicks, and then they super kick the living you know what out of Orange Cassidy for real. So they pretty much laid him out. And then after Adam Cole left, I want to say it was Taz for the rest of the show, actually. So yeah, they had a nice little rotation that was going on there, off and on throughout the night. Speaking of getting jumped from behind and just beat downs and all of that, another beat down that went down. Chris Jericho was with Alex Marvez being interviewed. Was trying to get word on why Chris Jericho helped out Eddie Kingston. Jericho said, no. Did not help Eddie Kingston. As you heard Kingston say, he didn't need my help. I wasn't there to help out Eddie Kingston. I actually was there to take out 2.0. I was there to shut them the hell up. Right then and there, 2.0 blindsided Jericho, beat the crap out of him. Got him real good. Took a steel chair to his head, laid him out. That pretty much was it for Jericho. Now, Jericho was apparently supposed to do some commentating duties on Rampage for this week, but now they're saying Jericho will not be on Rampage after all. So, Chris Statlander losing to Ruby Soho. This was a TBS title tournament qualifier as Ruby Soho advanced. Not a really good match, honestly. These girls were a bit all over the place, looked very sluggish. Statlander really was the one to me that looked a lot more out of place. Not really sure. Coming off as if she wasn't really sure what the hell she was supposed to be doing. Moments like this really shows the lack of experience here. It really, really does. And I was quite taken back by that, because I would have thought that with working with a veteran like Ruby, that Chris Statlander would be better grounded. But yeah, Statlander seemed pretty bad right here. I don't know. I don't know if definitively it's the lack of experience, as far as, okay, here, you're on this big stage. I don't know if it's that or what. I just, the stuff that I'm seeing so far, I just don't know if Statlander could truly go to that next level. I truly don't know if she can go to that next level, like a Jade Cargill, like a Britt Baker, like a I'm missing a name, like a Sheeta, like a Thunder Rosa. I don't know if she can. I just don't know right now. I don't know. She's off to a rocky start. Let me put it to you that way. She's off to a rocky start. Happy for Soho. Happy that Soho had picked up the victory here. I think the right person had went over in this one. Post-match, Statlander, Ruby shaking hands. As Statlander left the ring, she's intercepted by Vicky Guerrero, who's talking a hot boat of trash. Meanwhile, Ruby is celebrating. She's on the top turnbuckle, celebrating, pointing to the fans. Nyla Rose comes from behind Ruby and just lays her out. So, setting up a little bit of a preview there as far as our semifinals go. And that was pretty much it. That was Dynamite in a nutshell. This was an episode where they went a little bit all over the place. So, I mean, honestly, it had a little bit of something for everybody here. A lot of good stuff was in this spot, actually. And the fact that they were able to get the nice plugging in there for the Winter is Coming edition of AEW Dynamite. Good stuff. Now, for Rampage this week, check this out, guys. Rampage this week, your matches are as follows. Where are we here? Give me a second here. I just had my Rampage. See, I love taking my notes here. Hang on. Rampage. Here we go. Rampage for this week. Tony Nese will be facing Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship. Pentagon and Pac will be teaming up to take on FTR. Phoenix is out with an injury. And in regards to Jade Cargill has issued an open challenge on Rampage this week. Accepting that challenge will be Thunder Rosa's pupil, Jaina Kai. And Thunder Rosa had revealed to Jade Cargill, because we saw a little backstage montage tonight, Rosa revealed to Jade that she will be actually doing commentating for that match. So you already know what time it is, because that's pretty much a freaking TBS preview right there, semifinal preview there. So you already know, we already know where we're going with that. So let's not even think. So that should be good. So Rampage, that should be a pretty good episode. And remember, guys, I actually write for 411mania.com. So if you're not able to watch Rampage on Friday nights, maybe because you're out with friends or maybe because you're at work, you don't have access to, TV or whatever, 10 p.m. Eastern on Fridays, just hop on the 411 Mania site. I'm providing live ongoing coverage for AEW Rampage. And then after Rampage is over, I come right back with a review for the show overall. So check that out. I love it. I've actually been loving it. I've been writing now for let's see, feels like about 3 months now. I've been enjoying it. I've actually been enjoying it. It's good stuff. Fastest hour, honestly. It's like the fastest hour that I experience every single time I sit down. The tricky part is, like, my wife will tell you, the tricky part is once I'm done with work and how I'm so exhausted, sometimes I just don't feel like doing anything. But I don't want to leave my team hanging because I know that there's people that are dependent on me. And it's something that I've committed to. But sometimes I just come in just so defeated. But then once I have a bite to eat, and I just rest for a couple of minutes. Then as we get closer to the show, I start to get excited. It's like very seldom have I come across a Rampage where it was just, I'm not feeling it overall. Like it just totally bombed. Like, I think that's probably, I'm just thinking about the lowest rated Rampage I've given so far since the show's inception. I want to say the lowest rating I've given so far has probably been a 6.5. Probably a 6.5. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it's a 6.5. Usually I'm kind of averaging a 7 to a 7.5, and I think that 6.5 might have came, if not from, well, I tell you what, let's look. I'm thinking it was either last week's show or the week before was maybe when it had went down here. I need y'all to bear with me a second. I don't know what's going on. But hang on. There we go. All right. Something was weird going on there with my freaking internet browser there. Okay. So I'll tell you guys in a second, actually. Let's see, AEW Rampage. Yeah, I remember a 6.5 rating here. So let me see. I'm going to look at the most recent review. No. This past Friday, I gave Rampage a 7.5. And then, let's see here. So, I bet you it was the November 19th episode. Yeah, the November 19th episode. I gave that a 6.5. That was the lowest I've actually given for Rampage so far. So, some other stuff that we can get into when we're talking about numbers and ratings and all that good stuff. Numbers are out for this week's NXT, slightly up across the board. So congrats to NXT 2.0 for that. They finished up with an average audience of 637,000 viewers. So that is fantastic. The previous week was 625,000. So that's pretty good. In regards to that 18 to 49 demo, they saw a slight bump in that as well. They got a 0.15 rating, whereas last week they had got a 0.14 rating. So pretty good. So congrats to NXT for that. I did watch NXT for this week. I did a lot of fast forwarding, I gotta say. I did, however, check out the match between Kylie Ray and Dakota Kai. I thought what those two girls did, honestly, for me, that was the highlight of NXT. That was truly the main highlight of NXT. Don't get me wrong, the stuff there towards the end with Braun Breaker, and all those guys basically teasing the little War Games match. I kind of liked all of that as well. That was nice. But for me, as far as where the meat and potatoes really was, I enjoyed Dakota Kai, Kylie Ray. I thought that was pretty good. I'm not that excited for War Games though. I gotta tell you, I don't know how you guys are personally feeling in regards to War Games, but I'm not quite there. I'm really not. I have been asking friends, even those in the podcasting world, yo, how you feeling? What's been going on with NXT as of late? What's up? Because I've actually missed a couple episodes. So for me to sit down, and I sat down and watched this episode earlier today. I watched it earlier today, and I just found myself doing so much fast forwarding. But my friends in the podcasting world and listeners of the show and friends, they were saying, no, Lee, it's actually gotten pretty good. You really should go back and check it out, especially since you like this person and that person down there. Go check it out. It's actually pretty good. Kylie Ray, Dakota Kai, I mean, they were beating the living crap out of each other. I ate that shit up. That was a nice, good, brutal match that the girls had against each other. I gave two shits not about the Cameron Grimes, Andrade Chase match. I mean, what was that, like a 2-minute match? And Cameron Grimes picked up the dub, right? I mean, pretty much everything's set up for that hair versus hair match. Legado del Fantasma taking on Kyle O'Reilly, Von Wagner. Wagner and crew picking up the W. It was all right. Okay, little matchup. The little vignettes there of Tiffany Stratton. Okay, she's rich. She's daddy's little girl. Okay, nice. Solo Sikoa defeating Adonis and Foley. Man, I'm trying hard. You guys have no idea. I'm trying hard not to beat these new young men and women that I'm seeing on my TV, and some of these people I'm seeing for the very first time. I'm trying my best not to chew into them and be too hard, but there are honestly, can we be in agreement on this? That there are some people that just, wow, yo, you like shouldn't even be on TV right now. You just need to be at the performance center still working on your shit. Like, nah, man, NXT, yo, whew. Yeah. I saw the little vignette / promo that Adonis and Foley had cut there. And I'm just, first thing I said to myself, who is this guy? All right. You're right. I always go with the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, why. Okay. So all of my questions are being answered. But I'm going, yeah, but do I give a fuck? And with this particular talent, I'm sure he's a nice person and it's nothing personal though. I'm just not feeling that connection there. I'm just not. I mean, this wasn't a squash match that he had against Solo Sikoa, but I mean, both of these guys, very young in their wrestling careers, not much in-ring experience. Yeah. Rough, very rough. Indy Hartwell, Persia, Perota taking on Valentina, Feroz, Yolisa, Leon. I mean, this pretty much was over in like 60 seconds, man. I mean, this was just, what the fuck? Crazy. Braun Breaker taking on Johnny Gargano. Nice match. That actually was a pretty good match. And those guys actually went about 15 minutes, give or take. I thought that was good. They told a really good story there. There was only but like bright spots of NXT this week. That was okay. That's actually, yeah, but the rest of it, I just found myself doing so much fast forward and it was, kind of sad. It's actually kind of sad. Raw ratings are in. Hang on a second. I think that's better, right? Some told me it was looking a little dark in here. Raw ratings are in for this week. Raw this week did 1,678,000 viewers over the course of their 3-hour show. So not too shabby for them. Meanwhile, SmackDown, the official numbers are in for SmackDown. Remember, we were telling you guys about the fast national numbers on Monday's show, which was pretty much basically snapshot. But now we got the official Thanksgiving episode of SmackDown, or at least the, if you want to get technical, post-Thanksgiving, whatever you want to. That did 2.149 million viewers on Fox, which has been like their pretty good strong number as far as a large audience goes. They haven't seen anything quite of that magnitude, not since mid-October-ish. So that's pretty damn good. They got a nice little bump there. So good shit right there. I was talking about Shida earlier. Shida's actually going to be doing something in Japan. She announced that she's going to be returning for an upcoming event for the Maki project. And that's where she plays Princess Tsura. So check that out. Also, I don't know if you guys had heard about this, but Mick Foley and High Spots, they had reached a significant milestone. You might have heard about it. I know most of you guys that are Mick Foley fans, you probably do know, but for those of you that don't know, they had teamed up in a joint effort to try to help raise money for one Jimmy Rave. And Jimmy Rave had got like this nasty infection that basically got to his legs. So Jimmy Rave's legs had to be amputated. And then one of his arms, because it had spread it to his arms. So then one of his arms had to be amputated as well. I mean, just breaks your heart when you hear some shit like that. Like, I would not wish anything bad, not even on my worst enemy, but like something like that, you're just, whoa, your life, your livelihood as you've known it for so many years going into your adulthood, and now all of a sudden, I mean, just, can you imagine? It's hard to fathom, isn't it? Right? It's like you just, legs gone, one of your arms gone, and it's just, whoa. But yeah, they were able to raise a decent amount of money to help cover Jimmy Rave's expenses. They were able, with their effort, they were able to bring in a little bit over $22,000. And then when you look at just combined, because there was also a GoFundMe, the GoFundMe, when you add in the GoFundMe and you add in with what Mick Foley and High Spots were able to do for Jimmy Rave, all together they were able to bring in about $70,000 to cover Jimmy Rave's medical expenses. You've heard me talk about this off and on over the years, and I'm not the only podcaster that's mentioned it, but Mick Foley, yeah, and I really, no bullshit, if there was somebody I would like to recommend for the Warrior Award, I would love to see Mick Foley be the recipient of that award, because, and I'm very curious how many other people would agree with me. Those of you listeners that make your rounds listening to other podcasts, I would love for you to say, hey, I was listening to Lee Sanders over at the RCWR show. He brought up this really good idea of someone worthy of the Warrior Award in Mick Foley. What do you think about that idea? Because I've never seen anybody mention Mick Flair as a Warrior recipient. But I feel there was anybody that truly captures what the Warrior Award is all about and everything, it's Mick Foley. Because Mick Foley has given countless hours of his time and his money over the years for worthy charitable causes. Yeah, you may have heard something like this that's going on with Jimmy Rave and everything, but Mick Foley has done so much behind the scenes. There is so much he's done that has not been picked up by the press because he doesn't go run to the press and broadcast the shit. Usually you hear about it basically after the fact, whether it is the people that were at the receiving end of his respected help that, oh, hey, we just got to thank Mick Foley once again. And you're like, wait, Mick Foley did what? It's like, it's already over and done with, right? He's not one of those guys that's running around and, hey, let's make sure that this camera is following me to this place, where I'm getting ready to do, this nice little, ain't I great? He's never been one of those guys. Right down to the point, I remember, and I did not know this until me and my wife actually went. But for you longtime listeners, you remember when we had reviewed Mick Foley's comedy show at DC Improv. And when we had went there, great loads time. Check out the audio archive for on demand and the downloads. I even think we put something up on the YouTube channel as well in the archives. Maybe type in RCWR show Mick Foley and you should be able to come across it that way. But we didn't know until we actually were at DC Improv that a good portion of the money that was being made off of DC Improv was actually going to Rain. We did not know that until Mick Foley, midway through the show, had revealed that to us. And we had all, we did like a good standing ovation and everything. And he always, that is a man that, when you look up the true definition of a hero, a hero for me is someone that always rises to the occasion, that is unselfish. Whatever needs to be done, they are pretty much there and they're seeing it through all the way. And Mick Foley is definitely one of those guys. He truly has, to quote one of my favorite Neil Young songs, he has a heart of gold. He really, really does. So I'm curious what you guys think. If you feel, with what I said here, if you feel I'm spot on as far as Mick Foley being a future recipient of the Warrior Award, let me know what you think of that. Let me know if you think I'm on the right track with that, or even if you disagree, you can definitely sound off and let me know. But look, Jimmy Rave, his life will never, ever be the same. Unfortunately, when something like that happens, he is sadly going to be collecting disability for, the rest of his life. If he wasn't already collecting it, he's going to be disability for the rest of his life. And wow, that's just crazy. We're talking about Mick Foley there. Something else I want to share with you guys. This is Foley news related, and I gotta give a heads up to you guys in regards to this. Mick Foley had revealed on social media that there's a scam that's going down, and he doesn't want for anybody to get caught up in this. So let me actually pull up the image here, and I'm gonna disappear for a little bit, but don't worry, I will be back. But Mick Foley had put this out on his social media pages. I first saw it on his Twitter here. And let me just, that way you can really see this good. Let me just minimize this window. For those of you listening to the audio, I'm just trying to minimize the window here on the screen so people can see this. So let's leave that right there. And Mick Foley, he had issued an announcement on an advertisement for him appearing at a Dave & Buster's out in Philadelphia coming up next week around December 11th. He said that it was a scam And he's actually supposed to be appearing. It's a legit appearance. He's actually supposed to be appearing at the World Class Revolutions Christmas Star Wars on that date, but in Irving, Texas. In Irving, Texas. And he noted that this event for December 11th in Philadelphia, it's not a legit appearance. He went on to say, I think someone is running a scam. I will be in Irving, Texas on December 11th. Whoever is running the scam, take it down and return people's money. And for those of you that may be a little bit curious as far as, okay, so that thing that Mick Foley was promoting there, did the people ever take it down? What the fuck, Lee? Last I saw, they did not take it down. I can actually... Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Get out of here! Get out of here! Oh, my God. I thought it was a fake person. Holy shit. No. Breaking news. I got to give a mad shout out. That actually was Thunder Rosa herself earlier. Remember I said there was a person in the chat that was Thunder Rosa and probably had the avatar, but I'm used to people that call themselves after wrestlers and all. That was actually Thunder Rosa. How do I know that was actually Thunder Rosa? Thunder Rosa just gave me a follow on Twitter. It's a legit Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa, I don't know if you're still watching. You made my fucking night just now. Seriously. It's very rare I mark out over certain celebrities. Thunder Rosa is somebody I've been a fan of for, and I'm not just saying it. I've been a fan of her work for years, a couple of years now. Enjoyed her stuff in the NWA, which we'll be talking about later and everything. So, matter of fact, you guys got to forgive me. I got to actually tweet her. I can't believe, thank you so much for the follow. Very humbled. Been following your work for a while now. Keep up the great work. And yes, Cody was on fire. That's awesome. She made my day. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. What was I saying earlier? We were talking about where were we? We were talking about the Mick Foley thing, right? I think we got done talking about the Mick Foley. No, last I saw earlier today, the people that were running the scam, they still had it advertised, y'all. So if you see that advertisement, I'll let you guys get another look at that advertisement. Yeah, if you see that, yeah, be very leery of it. Honestly, I'm surprised not enough people have reported that, because that's usually what I do. When somebody is spreading misinformation, I usually will report, like, especially if it's like something that's scam related. I don't play that. I freaking flag that bad boy ASAP so that Twitter and all them other people can go on ahead and pull that bad boy down. I'm actually looking, hang on a second. I'm just checking in real time to see if Mick Foley has even mentioned anything with a follow-up here. Bear with me here. I'm still scrolling. Let's see here. I think it's gone, but let's try something. I'm curious now. Let's type in Mick Foley December 11th, because I'm curious. I'm doing a advanced Twitter search right now, so I'm curious. Let's see. Survey says no, I'm not seeing anything. So maybe it's now gone, or maybe it's just gone on Twitter. Also, for those of you that's going to be in the California area, there is a Comic-Con event that's going to be happening. I believe it's going to be happening, I think, this weekend. I want to say maybe this weekend it's going to be going down. I'm going to show you guys the graphic for that right now. Check this out. Yeah, so it actually is happening this weekend. Yeah, the LA Comic-Con, December 3rd through the 5th. And you guys will be able to check out Lisa Marie Varon. She's actually going to be there. Sorry about that. I'm just kind of checking my phone real quick. Yeah, she's actually going to be there. So she's going to be there all 3 days. So shout out to those of you that's on the West Coast, especially Cheryl. Shout out to Cheryl. Cheryl is a longtime listener of the RCWR show. And she usually likes making her rounds, going to different conventions, things of that nature. So shout out to Cheryl. Anybody that's on the West Coast thinking about going to that, let me know. I'm very curious how your experience goes up there. For you guys in the DC metropolitan area, let me holler at you one time. AEW is coming to DC. They will be here in January. If I remember the date, I want to say January 19th, it feels like, is maybe what I heard. 90% certain January 19th. Tickets go on sale this Friday. I can't make no promises, but I am going to try to see if I can actually go to that event. So fingers crossed, y'all, because if I can do that, then what will ultimately happen, I'll probably be doing an on-location edition post show afterwards. You know, or maybe we'll just do like the normal show. Maybe we'll kind of do it like that. You know, we'll see. But yeah, for those of you in the DMV, they're going to be coming to DC. As a matter of fact, if you guys can bear with me, I might be able to tell you the venue, because I don't think it's going to be happening at the, what are they calling it now? Is it the Capital One Arena? I've lost track of the names. I remember MCI Center. I remember the Verizon Center. I think it's now called the Capital One Arena now. But let me see something real quick here. AEW January 19th, 2022. Let me see what's going on here. Here we go. I'm on Ticketmaster right now. I'll be able to tell you the venue. It looks like... What is the name of this venue here? Here we go. The Entertainment and Sports Arena. Oh, this, I've never been to this. This apparently is at 1100 Oak Drive, Southeast, Washington, D.C. First off, shout out to the AEW talents. Look, if y'all ain't never been to D.C., look, Southeast has some really nice parts, but as soon as you go around the corner, up one block, it can get ghetto real quick. It can get rough real quick. Shout out to those of you that have been, you know, you were raised in the ghetto. You already know what time it is. Y'all should be all right. But I'm just saying, Southeast got some rough parts, okay? So 1100 Oak Drive, Southeast. See, now I'm curious about the venue here. Let me just pull this up real quick here. I got to look at this venue. As I bet you as soon as I see the venue, I'm going to know exactly what the hell it is here. Let's see. All right, I'm looking at images. Oh, no, go back. Okay, I'm looking at images right now. Okay, it actually looks... Wow, it actually looks pretty good. What team is that? Okay, it looks like they got some type of a college basketball team that's playing out of it right here. Okay. It's very nice. I'm looking at the arena. I would encourage you guys that's in the DMV, you've never heard of this arena before, type in the address. I mean, it looks pretty damn good. I'm looking at the seating arrangements and yo, I'm loving it. No bullshit. I am loving it. Okay. I'm down. Okay, so Mystics, Washington Mystics apparently plays out of this. Okay, so I take it this is their regular home. I'm going to have to rely on you DMV residents to chat me up to speed here. But I'm looking at somebody's tickets. They went to see a Mystics game. So it's safe to assume this is the Mystics home turf here. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you know what? Tickets should be at a decent price then, yeah? Yeah, they should be at a pretty good, reasonable price. So we'll check that out. That should be pretty good. Let's see. What else can we get into? How much showtime we got left? Because we still got to get into... Yeah, we're at about an hour 44. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get into NXT War Games picks, and then we'll get into Hard Times 2, and then we're pretty much going to be done. All right? We're pretty much going to be done. So first off, let's pull up the card for... Let's do War Games real quick. Let's do War Games. And let's see what's going on with this card here. I honestly, for me, it kind of feels like maybe it's a predictable card, but let's see here. Wow, we only got 5 matches so far. Are you kidding me? Yeah, 5 matches for War Games. All right. Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Cora Jade, Kylie Ray versus Dakota Kai, Toxic Attractions, Mandy Rose, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane. Women's War Games match. Oh, man. Honestly, no bull. I've really been liking what Toxic Attraction, the little bit that I have seen. And I got to preface this. I have missed a few episodes of NXT. But with what I saw, and then considering what I saw of the episode from earlier today, I'm kind of liking Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai there for the dub. I really am. But then another way I could look at this is Ring Around the Rosie. Who's going to be the one to ultimately, right? Who's the odd chicken here? I'm going to stick with Dakota Kai and Toxic Attraction. Cameron Grimes taking on Duke Hudson. Hair versus hair match. I can't believe I'm saying this. This has to be the one hair versus hair match I don't care about. That's just me personally. Duke Hudson, huh? I'm going to go with Duke Hudson. I'm having a hard time picturing Cameron Grimes with a bald head. I just feel that's not going to be in the cards for him. That whole hair, the whole look, I mean, he's got that down. That's become his trademark now. You know, why are we going to all of a sudden start? Like, I think this is more for Duke Hudson. I'd be pretty shocked to see Cameron Grimes lose this, I got to say. Imperium taking on Kyle O'Reilly, Von Wagner, tag match for the NXT tag titles. I'm still liking Imperium right now. I'm still feeling them for your NXT tag champions. Now, here's my thing. When did they win these? They won these titles not that long ago, did they not? Let me look at the championship reign here. NXT tag titles. So what's going on here? Yeah, they won them recently. I can't remember. Wasn't it at the last NXT pay-per-view that they did? That they won these titles? Yeah, I'm not quite Should be a damn good matchup. Like, I'm looking at all the matches so far, and as far as like which ones like really jump out at me, that should be a damn good instant classic. Definitely Imperium, Wagner, O'Reilly. And I think the men's War Games is really gonna step up. Third place, I'm picturing that women's War Games match. But yeah, I'm seeing Imperium retain. NXT Cruiserweight Championship match. Roderick Strong, Joe Gacy. You know, the whole Joe Gacy character, I still can't quite get into that. I don't know why. You would think that would be kind of up my alley since I'm the guy that's always watching Investigation Discovery, right? You would think that's up my alley and everything with this Joe Gacy, right? Even the name itself, Joe Gacy, it sounds like it's based off of some freaking serial killer. But, I'm going to say Joe Gacy becomes the new NXT Cruiserweight Champion. I can see a title changing hands here. I can definitely see the title changing hands right here. So I'm going to go with Joe Gacy here. Feel it in my bones. Call it a gut instinct. Can I pull a Charles Barkley for a second? I guarantee that Joe Gacy is going to become the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. All right, main event match, men's War Games, Team Black and Gold, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, LA Knight taking on Team 2.0, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and Tony D'Angelo. I think the real question going into this men's War Games match is, can the 2.0 team really coexist? Because all of these men have their own dreams and ambitions. Can they really put everything truly to the side and be a team? Meanwhile, Tommaso Ciampa, Gargano, Pete Dunne, LA Knight, I mean, there's definitely shit right there that could kind of implode as well. So this could go really either way. You got some nice elements in here. I'm liking this for what it's worth. You got some very interesting elements in here. And then who wants to lay claim that they pinned the NXT World Champion? Right? Good, nice little bragging rights right there. Man. See, now I can't help but picture how this is going to end. Like, who's going to be... Damn. This is interesting. Because I'm seeing the way that this can... There are so many twists and fun turns that can happen with this match. But I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to say Team 2.0 is going to pick up the victory here. I'm going to go with Team 2.0. Yeah, I'm going to go with Team 2.0 right here. All right, so to recap, Dakota Kai, Toxic Attraction, defeating the other girls there for that women's War Games match, and Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Cora Jade, Kaylee Ray. Cameron Grimes defeats Duke Hudson in the hair versus hair match. Joe Gacy becomes your new NXT Cruiserweight Champion. War Games match for the men's side, I'm going with Team 2.0 over Team Black and Gold. That's how I'm looking at that. Love to hear you guys' thoughts on that, so sound off. Let's go with one more here. We're going with NWA Hard Times 2. This pay-per-view is going to be going down this Saturday. 8 p.m. It's going to be happening. 8 p.m. December 4th. Atlanta, Georgia, GPB Studios. We've got right now 13 matches. Don't forget the hardcore legend Mick Foley is going to be in the house, and they're going to be doing a special tribute to Jazz for her body of work. So Jazz will be in the house as well. That should be a damn good card. Damn good card. But look at this. We've got 13 matches that's on the card here. Jax Dane taking on Mims singles match. I'm going with Jax Dane. Jax Dane needs to pretty much pick things up. Because remember, one of the last time we saw Jax Dane in action, he actually lost that match. I'm trying to remember. It was a tag match. He teamed up with Jeremiah Pluckett. Was it Jeremiah Pluckett? There was somebody he teamed with on the opposite side. It was Trevor Murdoch, and I wish I could remember all the participants, but it definitely had involved Trevor Murdoch, and the rules were simple. If Jax Dane got disqualified, or if he lost the match, just cleanly he lost the match, then his championship series match opportunity was going to be taken away. Like, that's it. No more. That's it. Use it or lose it. That's it. So he lost that opportunity. So this kind of feels like a nice little reset, comeback type of feel. Kind of feel he's going to be the one to pick up the dub here in this one. Meanwhile, Colby Corino is taking on the UK veteran in Doug Williams, TNA fame there, especially when you go back and look at the rich history of TNA. That should be a damn good matchup. Colby Corino and Doug Williams. I love the idea of seeing Colby Corino come out on the next batch of weeks of NWA programming, really kicking it off, talking about how he beat a TNA original, essentially. Corino over Doug Williams. Nick Aldis, Tom Latimer, grudge match. Nobody can be at ringside. If either man is disqualified, they will be suspended for 8 weeks. So the main question going into this one, is somebody going to play a minds game here and get somebody to get themselves disqualified? Or will this match go down without any controversy here? Camille is most likely going to get involved. The question is, when Camille gets involved, is it going to backfire? That's the real question here. And this is a grudge match. I still feel that between Nick Aldis and Latimer, they are really just scratching the surface. I still feel that there's a lot more life left in it, that this can go down some more fun paths. I'm going to go with Latimer. Austin Aries taking on Rhett Titus, NWA World Junior Championship qualifier match. Again, qualifier match. Let's spice it up a little bit. This could really go either way, and I got to tell you something. We've yet to see Austin Aries on NWA TV this go round, so for many of us, this is going to be our first time seeing him in a good minute. Rhett Titus, pretty much the same deal, because this guy is ROH basically. So random. We've got no video package. We got nothing. So we're going into this kind of blind, y'all. This is kind of just pick them. Just random. Just pick one. Pick somebody. I'm going to go with Aries. OGK, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett defend the ROH World Tag titles against Aaron Stevens and Kratos. Now, my main question with what we've been seeing these past couple of weeks of NWA Power, where Kratos has been really digging into Stevens. Yo, you need to tap into that killer instinct. Yo, you need to tap into those dark emotions. Once you harness them, you tap into them and you just unload. We truly will be unstoppable. What are you waiting for? And we've seen Kratos give Stevens some tough love. So I can't help but wonder Is this going to be their rebound? Is Kratos and Stevens going to have their rebound moment right here? Or are things going to really implode? And remember, as I teased it, I want to say last week, that I feel that what's currently going on with ROH, the little moves that they're doing and working with other promotions, it's one of those temporary loans. So in layman's terms, hey, how you doing? Oh, I ain't seen you in a good minute. How you been? Hey, did you get that new Mortal Kombat game? You tired of playing it yet? Could I maybe borrow that for like a weekend or two? Oh man, you're so cool. Thank you. So when I'm looking at this match right here, I would not be surprised if Aaron Stevens and Kratos became the new ROH World Tag Team Champions. But is that the direction I go in? Or do these guys retain? Stevens and Kratos, new ROH tag champions. I just have a feeling right here that something's brewing between ROH and NWA. And I just have this feeling until ROH gets their shit together and they do this revamp, I just have a feeling that we're going to see some temporary placeholders, right? Keep that name going on. Mickie James, meanwhile, faces Kiera Hogan, Impact Knockouts Championship match. Oh, wow. That should be damn good. And I'm remembering what those girls did. Oh, man. What was it? It wasn't... No, it was Empower. Wasn't it that Empower? I'm trying to think. No. I don't think it was Empower. I'm thinking it was... Hang on, guys. I'm thinking it was... I'm looking at the matches right now. No, it wasn't Empower. It wasn't Empower. Mickie James and Kiera Hogan locked up before. I can't quite remember what show it was. I'm already looking at the 73rd event. She took on Kylie Ray. Mickie James did. There was a recent show, and Mickie James had beat Kiera Hogan. So to get this rematch, to my point, to get this rematch, here's the main problem with a lot of these matches. Look, great card so far. I think you guys would agree. Great fucking card. 13 matches. These are great matches. But here's the problem. There's not enough video packages. We've gotten no build up to a lot of this stuff that is about to go down. We just pretty much are going into this pay-per-view and it's, here you go. Right down to the point. Mickie James, Kiera Hogan. Now, if you were to say to me, well, Lee, not for nothing, but over on Impact, we've seen, well, I think it's very important that for storyline purposes, as far as continuity goes, we got to make sure that we're mentioning it on the NWA show. Because if the NWA shows ain't mentioning it, it's kind of like, well, it don't exist. I hate to say that, but it's true to a point. But Mickie James, Kiera Hogan, that should be a damn good matchup because I enjoyed what they had did. I wish I could remember. Maybe it was an episode of Power that the two girls had faced each other. But they did face each other before. That's the thing. That's going to bother me now because I'm like, you guys have no idea. I'm very curious now. And I'm going to try to look at one more thing because I want to know which show it was. I'm looking at Kiera Hogan's match history here. And hopefully I'll be able to tell you guys. I'm still looking. Yeah, this isn't updated. Yeah, it felt like maybe it was on an episode of Power where this match had went down. So I'm not going to be able to find out tonight. I will research it and yeah. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling. Hexus, Allison K, Marty Bell. defend the NWA World Tag Titles in a triple threat against Kylie Rae and Tootie. First of all, are we sure Kylie Rae is going to be there? I'm not throwing shade at Kylie Rae. I just remember the last go round, Kylie Rae had to disappear to take care of some personal stuff. So are we even sure that Kylie Rae is going to be at this event? I'm going to pretend Kylie Rae's not there, and I'm just going to go with the next name that's supposed to be here, which is Tootie Lynn. So basically, Tootie Lynn and her tag partner teaming up, taking on Lady Frost and Natalia Markavo. That should be a damn good tag match. Nice little triple threat match. Hex retains. I can't go against my girls in Allison Kay and Marty Bell. I love those girls tremendously, man. Come on. I love them. I can't choose against them. Please don't make me do it. Chris Adonis taking on Jedi, singles match for the national championship. Love Masterpiece Chris Adonis. Judas is kind of coming into his own. He still got a little ways to go, but I'm coming around to the guy. That should be a nice, good, beefy match. Yeah. Adonis for the retain. Camille defends the NWA Women's Championship against Melina. Camille. What I'm most curious about, though, and hopefully I'm not jumping the gun a little bit, but is anybody else that's checking out the NWA product ready to see Camille cross paths with Mickie James? I'm waiting patiently to see that go down, so that would be pretty nice to see Camille and Mickie James butt heads there. And that should be a good match too, Melina and Camille. That should be a damn good match. Like, of the matches I'm looking at so far, as far as like which ones like really jump out to me that, okay, this should be really, really good. Kiera Hogan, Mickie James, Rhett Titus, Aries, Aldis, Latimer. I think the tag team match for the tag titles are going to be good too, which we'll go to that one next. La Rebellions, Basta 666, Mecha Wolf 450, taking on the Ends, Odison and Pharaoh. Tag team title match. I gotta go with part of me likes to see the End get the tag titles back, because since La Rebellion has had the titles, we haven't really seen much of anything of a nice payoff for the NWA, at least so far. If La Rebellion is going to continue to hold on to those tag titles, I personally like to see a lot more be done as far as cross brand promotion and all that good stuff. So all things considered, La Rebellion retains. I just hope that coming out of this, we do a lot more interesting things with La Rebellion, personally. Well, I mean, we shall see, but I kind of got a feeling they're going to retain. Scion goes up against Tyrus. No DQ match for the TV title. Pulp, special guest referee. So, in essence, a feud renewed between Pulp and Tyrus when you're really thinking about it. So much can happen here. Does Scion get unmatched? There's like a whole lot of stuff that can happen in this. I am going to go with, and there's a no time limit on this match. There's a no time limit. Tyrus. I gotta go with Tyrus for the retain. I honestly, no bullshit, I feel that Scion will eventually become a TV champion. I do feel legit he's gonna get the title from Tyrus. I just feel that not right here. Not at this time. Not at this moment in time will Sion get it. Trevor Murdoch defends the NWA World Heavyweight Championship against Mike Knox. This is another one that, okay, we saw what happened at the conclusion of By Any Means Necessary, but we haven't really followed up since. We've got nothing from Mike Knox. Nothing. Like as far as interview that's spliced into an NWA show, right? So that's like the big running theme. If there's any problem going into this pay-per-view is the lack of that nod, lack of that build, right? It's just pretty much right down to the point. You look at how NWA was advertising Hard Times. You know, we don't have all this stuff that's spliced in, and right down to the point, you looked at what was the latest episode of NWA Power. Even though we weren't getting a new episode, there was a special episode that was looking at the long history between Trevor Murdoch and Nick Aldis, culminating in their NWA 73rd matchup. They even had showed a retro match between Harley Race, I think it was. I can't remember who the opponent was. But that would have been a great time to really just do a full blitz. Okay, this is your hardcore 2 preview. Go into all the matches that's coming up. Break down the exclusive matches that's like hasn't been advertised on Power. Get into it during that special. Include interviews from Austin Aries, right? Rhett Titus, boom, 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 boom. Maybe next time. But Trevor Murdoch, Mike Knox, NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Yo. That should be a damn good match. That should be a straight up brawl, honestly. That should be a straight up freaking brawl. Murdoch for the W, though. And apparently we got a NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship qualifying gauntlet match. Alex Taylor, Arya Daivari, C.W. Anderson. C.W. Anderson, that's a good name. Haven't seen him in a minute. Darius Lockhart, Homicide. All right, Homicide. Jeremiah Plunkett, Jamie Stanley, Kerry Morton, Luke Hawks, PJ Hawks, Saranaro, Victor Benjamin. So whoever comes out of that is going to advance to face the winner of Austin Aries versus Rhett Titus. I'm going to go with... So remember what I said earlier, Austin Aries, I have him advancing. So now in this other one with all of these names for this gauntlet match, damn. Yo, 2 names really look good to me. 2 names really look good to me. Hey, Marvin, what's up, my brother? 2 names really look good to me, and I'm with Marvin. Marvin said Austin Aries. I'm definitely with Austin Aries over Rhett Titus, definitely. But for that gauntlet match, there's 2 names that really jump out to me that I think would be extremely complimentary for that Junior Heavyweight Championship match. I'm looking at Luke Hawks. Actually 3. I'm looking at Luke Hawks, C.W. Anderson, and Homicide. I think it's going to come down to... Actually, damn, what about Arya Daivari? Arya Daivari's really been stepping his game up too. That's another name that looks pretty... Yeah. Arya Daivari, C.W. Anderson, Luke Hawks, Homicide. One of those 4 guys. I got to go with... If I had to narrow that down, Luke Hawks. If you gotta force me to choose, I'm gonna go with Luke Hawks. But as far as who I think overall is going to win, that's where it gets interesting. I think Austin Aries I think Austin Aries is. I've been good. Marvin. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. How you been doing, man? You missed it. We had Thunder Rosa do a cameo earlier, and it turns out that's the legit Thunder Rosa. Yeah, for anybody else that's tuning in, we legit had Thunder Rosa do a drive-by. She legit did a drive-by. I wish I was bullshitting. She legit did a drive-by. And we know it's legitimately her because she ended up following me on Twitter afterwards. This is her official account, so badass. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Austin Aries to pretty much win it all. I got him winning it all. Other than that, that's the card. Let's run that down one more time. So Jax Dane over Mims, Colby Corino over Doug Williams, Tom Latimer over Nick Aldis, Austin Aries over Rhett Titus in the Junior Heavyweight Championship qualifying match. Meanwhile, for the Gauntlet match for the Junior Heavyweight Championship, too close to call. I think it's going to come down to those 4 names I mentioned earlier, but ultimately I think Luke Hawx is going to be the one to advance. And then out of that, Luke Hawx, Aries picking up the dub to become your new NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion. OGK losing the ROH World Tag Titles to Aaron Stevens, JR Kratos. Mickie James retains her Knockouts Championship over Kiera Hogan. Hex over Tootie Lynn and her tag partner. They're saying Kylie Ray, but I'm keeping in mind what she said on her social media pages. So until I see with my own 2 eyes, I am just going to go with Tootie Lynn and say her tag partner. That way we got all the bases covered. Lady Frost, Natalia Makarova, 3-way tag match. Hex retains. Adonis retains the national championship over Jedi. Camille retains the women's NWA championship over Melina. La Rebellion retains the NWA tag titles over the N. Damn, I got a lot of retains here. I don't know, guys. I got a lot of retains. I kind of feel as though I might need to switch it up here. I don't know. I kind of feel like I might need to switch it up. Yeah, I'm going to switch it up. I'm actually going to switch it up. I'm going to stick with Adonis retaining. I'm going to stick with Camille retaining her women's title over Melina. I am going to stay with La Rebellion retaining the tag titles over the N. I'm going to say Scion becomes your new NWA TV champion. I know, right? But I mean, it's really hard for me to picture every single championship on a retain. I'm having a hard time seeing that. I really, really am. So I think if there was one match where you go, I got to put an asterisk by this one, the match is probably going to be that. I feel the match to put an asterisk by is that one. We'll see. Main event match, Trevor Murdoch, Mike Knox, World Heavyweight Championship, Murdoch for the retain. So that's how I'm looking at that. I mean, it's a pretty damn good card. And the pay-per-view is going to be what, $20? I'm actually going on Fight TV right now just to see how much this pay-per-view is going to be costing here. Here it is, right there on their splash page. $24.99. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that. $24.99. So I actually will be checking out that pay-per-view this Saturday. And actually, at the time that the pay-per-view will come on, I actually will be just getting off work. So I literally will be on my phone looking at the pay-per-view while I'm coming home and then getting the studio set up and all that while checking out the pay-per-view so I can do the post-show and all that. Will I be doing a War Games post-show? I don't know. I probably, most likely, I will. Most likely I will. We'll see. I think I'll probably poll you guys. I'll poll you guys sometime Thursday afternoon, ask you guys straight up if you would like a NXT War Games live post show. And you guys tell me. But I know for sure I'm going to be doing the Hard Times 2 pay-per-view post-show. I definitely am going to be doing that as well. So other than that, as far as any other little tidbits we need to get into real quick, this is real quick. Peacock, they announced that Diamond Dallas Page is going to be the next guest for the Steve Austin Broken Skull sessions. That's going to be premiering Sunday, December 19th. Put an asterisk by that, because you know how these shows are when it comes to anything content related for WWE on Peacock. We're still waiting on the Superfan from Vladimir. That's yet to freaking surface. There was supposed to be that July 4th episode of Icons on Lex Luger. We didn't get that. Looks like that's never going to see the light of day. There was supposed to be a Broken Skull Sessions episode with John Cena. They advertised it and everything. That has yet to surface. So, I mean, look, it's one thing when you have a TV series that maybe had got the green light to do a pilot episode. There was enough money from the TV executives that they kicked to the production team and said, okay, make us a pilot episode. Let's see how this pilot episode comes about. We'll then take that pilot episode, we'll show it to our focus group, and we'll see what happens from that focus group. And with that focus group, that pilot show is dead on arrival. They just ain't feeling it. It's dead on arrival. Executives decide, okay, you know what? Yeah, we're not going to pick this series up. Okay, well, that's a pilot. That's something that was, in, pre and post production. It was never advertised for having a series premiere, air date, premiere date, all of that stuff. But when it comes to stuff like this that we're speaking of from WWE on Peacock, WWE and Peacock are advertising this shit. So it's already been made. They're advertising when it's going to premiere. And then when the date happens and the stuff doesn't come out, and then what really looks bad, there's no press release that says, hey, we apologize for any inconvenience this may cause, but we're not going to be premiering the blah, blah, blah episode at this time. People are just left twiddling their thumbs, wondering what the hell's going on. So I need in the coming year for WWE and Peacock to have a better line of communication and make sure that everybody is on board when it comes to advertising what they say is that they're going to be advertising here. I mean, seriously, if a lot of your favorite TV shows operated like this, they would be hurting big time. There's two things that will ultimately hurt a TV series. History has shown it time and time again. Time and time again. When you do a poor job advertising when a show, especially with new episodes, is supposed to be coming on, and when you keep moving that show to various time slots within that respected season, those are the ultimate kiss of deaths for those shows. The ultimate kiss of deaths. Other than that, everything has relatively been quiet. I know a lot of people are talking about what went down with Scotty 2 Hotty leaving the WWE. I actually was asked my thoughts about that, if I could get into that on the show. There's really not much to say in regards to that. Like, it's not long-winded, but I mean, if you're asking me straight up, I thought what he put out there for a statement, I would encourage anybody that hasn't checked out his statement, go check it out. Actually, check it out. But I felt it was a telling tale what he put out there. You could basically pick up that, okay, I came into this, I loved what I was doing. I loved the difference that I was making and helping these young men and women, creating them, developing them, starting from scratch and really building them up. And then you got this whole big old line of miscommunication that's going on. These people that he's been spending his time and energy working on, Thanos snap, they're gone. All right, now he's putting his time, he's putting his energy and effort into next batch of people, and rinse, repeat, Thanos snap. And when you have stuff like that, that is messing with your job, like, okay, why am I here? You will start to question yourself. Why am I here? You're like, why am I being paid this money? I'm supposed to do X, Y, Z. And I'm essentially, not able to do it because this stuff is going on. We've got this poor line of miscommunication that's going on here. Yeah, sooner or later, you get to a point where you just decide, okay, is this something I'm going to continue to ride with? Or am I going to just say, hey, look, the money is good. I'm comfortable. Family's being taken care of. I'm just going to ride this for what it's worth. And it is what it is. Are you going to remain complacent? And it takes a person with serious balls to just go with their gut instincts and follow their heart and say, nah, you know what? I'm good. I don't need this. I'm better than this. I deserve better than this. I want better than this. I'm gonna go seek it. So I respect the hell out of Scotty 2 Hotty for stepping away and just, there's one line that he said in his statement of his release. I thought it was kind of interesting how he used past tense when he was talking about how NXT was good and everything. I don't know if you all had really latched on to that, but I just really found myself, somebody obviously doesn't like what's currently going on here. It's pretty obvious. There's a lot of hands now in the cookie jar of NXT and everything. It's pretty obvious, but at some point in our lives, we've done what Scotty 2 Hotty has done. For you younger listeners that's out there, you younger listeners are going to be finding yourselves in that position one day. They say, I can't remember the statistic now, but they say that the moment that you first get a job when you're in your teens, that basically you're probably going to go through about 20 to 30 something different jobs before you find your true career path, before you find your passion. So, I mean, yeah, you young people that's not thinking about work right now, you got a couple more years to go before parents go, time for you to get a job. You'll get there. You'll get to where myself and Scotty 2 Hotty and others have been, where you just go, yeah, the money's good. I like management. All this is banging, but man, I just am not feeling what's going on. Do you continue to turn a blind eye and just say, money's good, that's all I care about, I'm set? Or do you just say, nah, I'm gonna go get better. I know there's more than this out there. I'm not just gonna settle. And that's what he decided to do. He decided he wasn't gonna settle. You gotta respect that. You gotta respect that. It's a great quality, actually. So other than that, guys, that's it. We did about 2 hours, 26 minutes of a show. Nice deluxe episode. We went all over the place, and that was mainly because we were doing the reviews there for Dynamite, and then we got into it there with the Hard Times, and we could have easily made the Hard Times be part of but there wasn't an NWA show to do yesterday. So hopefully you guys appreciate this nice little deluxe episode. Once in a blue moon, I don't mind stuff like this, but if you notice, the average runtime is typically a 2-hour show. So programming notes, once again, Saturday night, December 4th, NWA Hard Times 2 post show. Sunday night, that's pending. Look for the poll on Twitter, youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the communities tab and let me know if you want me to do a NXT War Games post show. You made it up this far. You haven't done so already. Hit that like button. When you hit that like button, you pretty much let the good kind of people at YouTube know you appreciate it. Great content like this. Go the extra mile. Hit that subscribe button as well. You hit that. That definitely cheers me up big time. Makes my day when you subscribe. And click on that bell. You do that, you always know about new content that comes your way. Shout out to Thunder Rosa, who did the drive-by in the chat once again. Hopefully she's not blushing that I plugged her there. Shout out to Marvin for popping in there as well. Shout out to, we usually have people that just like to kick back. They just creep. They don't say shit. They just want to watch the stream live, enjoy themselves. Lurkers. I got no problem with you guys. I love you guys tremendously. Just keep making your presence felt. That's all I ask, by hitting the like, doing all that good stuff. Get at your man on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. And until next go round, I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round, y'all. Peace. Take care, y'all.